Welcome back everyone, it's Barfly2 here. Today we're going to cover the Jem'Hadar Attack Fighter. Small and manoeuvrable, the Jem'Hadar Attack Fighter was used as a patrol ship for the Dominion. They were the perfect vessel to rapidly respond to threats to the Dominion, often swarming larger targets in order to take them down. This can be illustrated perfectly with the destruction of the USS Odyssey in the Gamma Quadrant at the start of the Dominion War. The attack fighter has a range of abilities available to it, and it has a core point cost of 0. Bridge and medbay are situated in the fore of the ship, and the cargo and engineering sections are in the aft. It has a slightly slower maximum warp of 8, so it can move 16 inches. It has an evasion of 2 and a resilience of 2. It has 6 on the reserve power dial. The attack fighter has a shorter alert dial with 2 green, 1 yellow and 2 red alerts. Green 1 has a fast impulse power of 10 and an impulse turn of 3. Energy recharge, weapons power, instruments power and shields are all at 1. Green 2 brings the reserve energy recharge down to 0. Impulse power also lowers to 8. You get 1 weapons power, 2 instrument power, 2 shields at the front and 1 shield at the back. Yellow 1 gets a good balance of abilities with a 3 recharge, impulse power of 7, weapons power of 3, instrument power of 2, 3 shields at the front and 1 shield at the back. Red 1, the ship becomes more combat focused with 2 recharge, 7 impulse power, 4 weapons power, 1 instrument power and 3 shields at the front and 2 shields on the back. Finally, Red 2 becomes even more combat focused with 1 energy recharge, 5 impulse power, 5 weapons power, 0 instrument powers, 4 shield on the front and 2 shield on the back. Inspiring the attack fighter brings your operations up to 5 and your command up to 4. The attack fighter has a weak crew dial once it starts receiving trauma. It only has 4 steps. This is why you'll be using the battle cruiser to form teams. The attack fighter's hull starts at 5 and white level goes down to 3. This is where you'll get a damage card. You have 1 yellow stage at 2 and an amber stage at 1 where you'll lose a crew. You then have your disabled and destroyed red levels. This makes the attack fighter very vulnerable to an alpha strike where it will lose most of its hull, so you'll need to keep an eye on your shields if you think you're going into combat. Captain's chair has the ability to adjust the alert status and to engage your warp. At the helm, you can engage impulse. If you do this as a priority action, you can remove a sensor lock from this ship. Once your hull's down to amber, you can do a final attack which allows you to ram a ship at 2 inches. Both sensors and comms have a 4-inch bubble all round the ship. In their front arc they also have a sensors and comms of 4 inches plus your instrument power. The station can also carry out sensor lock actions. One ability we've not seen in action yet is the anti-proton beam. This allows you to add a peril to a cloaked ship with a wake within sensors range. So even if you've not got a shot on a cloaked ship, you may well be able to add peril to it and thus harm its abilities. The attack fighter has 3 phased polaron beams, 2 in the front arc and 1 in the rear arc. Pierce 1 allows you to spend an analysis result in order to reduce your target's shield for the rest of the action. It also has 2 torpedo tubes, 1 in the fore and 1 in the aft. Medical care allows you to heal personnel here once. Cargo bay gives access to readying officers and forming teams. Finally, engineering allows you to regain energy and transport personnel at green or yellow alert. The attack fighter damage cards are very thematic, just like what we see on screen when Cisco and the crew are on the Robinson. Exploding panels assigned to a bridge station. In the hazard phase, an opponent may spend 1 of the ship's peril to move this card to another station. The officer at that station will sustain a trauma. Sensory display disabled. After the ship makes an impulse maneuver, an opponent may rotate it up to 1 notch forward around the turning tool. Guidance system shot. After the ship makes a warp maneuver, an opponent may rotate it up to 1 notch forward around the turning tool. Inertial dampener failure. After the ship makes a maneuver at impulse, each personnel on the ship sustains 1 trauma. At warp, each personnel on the ship sustains 2 trauma. I've got to admit, I've got a bit of a soft spot for the attack fighter. Maybe it's just iconic on the screen, but also maybe it's because I've played this one so much since the start of the game. Just really love it, and I love the Jem'Hadar. I find their damage cards are so thematic, even though they're so nasty on this ship. Although it may seem weaker than a lot of the other ships, don't underestimate the power of the attack fighter or its Jem'Hadar crew. That's about it for this edition of Ships of the Line. Hope you can join us all again soon. Bye.